What a semifinal Saturday as the semifinal match play. All four teams in the books and two remain as we get ready for a national championship tomorrow. Welcome back to Riviera Country Club. Kelly Keeney, Will Haskett. We saw a little bit of everything today, and after some blowout matches in the quarterfinals, it couldn't have gotten any tighter today.
It was very tight matches between Alabama and California. It was very tight matches between Texas and Oregon. Yesterday, we did see a bunch of blowouts. Today, every match made it to the 16th hole, and that's a feat into itself that these teams were matched up so closely.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights. We begin with the first groups out today. That was Alabama taking on Cal, and Scott Strohmeyer, who was the hero yesterday for Alabama. That was a big putt at 10. He would be in control of his match. In fact, never trail, but it would be a pivotal one. The hero yesterday for Cal was Joel Stalter. He got a big putt there, but at that moment in time, he was 3 down. He would prove to be pivotal. We'll come back to that match in a little bit. Was anybody hotter all week than Corey Whitsitt for Alabama? This birdie at 14, he won 3-1, and Kelly, that was really the most lopsided match between anybody today.
You're exactly right. I mean, 3 up was the largest margin of victory we saw, and that was in Whitsitt's match.
All right, Pace Johnson was playing against Scott Strohmeyer. He had this for birdie off the green at 14. At this point, he was 2 down and just trying to hang in it, and that one dropped. And all of a sudden, he was just 1 down at that moment in time. And momentum was really starting to change for Cal. Coming behind him, you had Michael Kim. This long putt at 14 lagged it up there, maintained a 2-up lead. He would beat Bobby Wyatt today 2-1. So there was 1 point on the board for Cal, and earlier this point went on the board. As off in the distance, the roar went up when Max Homa closed out Justin Thomas. He won 2-1, and Cal just needed to try and find a way to flip the script on a couple of Alabama leads. At 18, Pace Johnson was down 1 when they played the 18th, hit this huge sweeping hook. He was so far off the grid at 18, Kelly, and then all of a sudden delivered the shot of the tournament.
Pace Johnson hit an amazing shot here and had a curve like Bubba Watson did at Augusta.
He needed to make the birdie to extend the match, but just a bit too high. And for the second straight day in the 5 spot, Scott Strohmeyer would go out and win. He won the match 1 up, and that turned all of the attention on the final match. 2-2 was the tie score. Hunter Hamrick and Joel Stalter. Hamrick was 1 up when he played the 18th, cozied this one up for a par. Stalter would have a putt from just off the green to extend the match. It just wasn't really that close, and when it all was said and done, he could not pull off the heroics from yesterday, Kelly, and Alabama survives an incredibly tight day against Cal. Congratulations to the Golden Bears on a great tournament. Somehow, the top team and the top seed survived.
Yes, which has been a bit unusual and been one of the biggest complaints of the NCAA championships up to this point. But tomorrow we do have the top 2 seeds in the country competing in the finals.
A little foreshadowing there by Kelly. We needed to see who Alabama was going to play. And coming up in the afternoon matchup, we had Texas and Oregon. And the highlights on 10 were phenomenal. Jonathan Wu in his matchup, as he cozied that one up close against Cody Gribble, he would make the putt and cut the deficit to just 1 at that moment in time. Gribble would go on to win that match, however, 2-1. How about Eugene Wong? He was so far left, hit it to that point, and then Kelly chipped in. He had it rolling against Jordan Spieth today.
Wong got off to a great start. Spieth got off to a little bit of a slow start, and Wong ended up taking that match.
Tony Hokula very steady out early for John Fields. He would beat Robbie Ziegler 3-1. That was a big par save. And then we turned our attention to 2 matches. Daniel Mernicki from Oregon, all square at this moment, back at 17 when he rolled in the eagle putt at the 590-yard par 5. He would take a 1-up lead on Dylan Fratelli of Texas going to the 18th. And this is when you kind of started to feel like Oregon had a chance in the last 3 matches to pull this thing out. Hit a bomb at 18 and then stuffed it in at 18. And Mernicki would go on with a birdie putt, Kelly. What an incredible finish. He plays the last 2 holes at 3 under par.
Mernicki definitely gave Oregon a glimmer of hope. Oregon hung around yesterday. They were able to do the same thing today with Texas, but Texas was able to hang tough and hold Oregon off.
But meanwhile, behind, Julio Vegas won the 17th with a birdie, so he was 1 up in his match against Andrew Vajaro, drove it in the fairway and hit this clutch shot into 18. Vajaro was outside, could not make the birdie putt, so Vegas had 2 putts to win the match and send Texas into the national championship. A huge fist pump. He plays the last 2 holes at 2 under, and Texas gets the swing match in their favor, and Vegas becomes the hero today for the Longhorns.
You know what? Vegas played great. He was in the 3rd match position, and it was a total swing match, and he was able to finish very strong to win that match.
So Texas survives Jordan Spieth losing in the final match, and Vegas is the one that delivers the 3rd point for Texas, and they make their way into the championship tomorrow. So like you said at the top, Kelly, we have the 1 and 2 teams in the country really all season. I mean, dominant programs, 1 through 5 in their lineup. It's going to be a short day of golf tomorrow because we only have 10 golfers left to compete. But what do you expect between the Tide and the Horns?
Oh, I think we're going to have quite the standoff tomorrow. Alabama's a bit more rested because they were able to get through their matches yesterday very easily. Today, they had a little bit longer matches, but they got to sit and wait for about an hour for the Longhorns to finish. Alabama's playing great golf. Texas is playing great golf. We've seen both teams play really good golf when it came down the stretch, when the tides were starting to turn the wrong way. We've seen both Alabama and Texas elevate their game.
These are 2 battle-tested programs, obviously, with some incredible champions in their lineup. How do you prepare the night before a national championship, knowing you're going to go mano-a-mano against some players you've seen a lot in your career tomorrow for a national championship?
You know, the bottom line is you've got 5 men playing. So every man, regardless of how the coaches set up the lineup, you've got to try and beat every player. It's head-to-head competition. You know you're going to have to play great golf. You know each of you are playing a great opponent, so the best golf is going to win.
We will see how those lineups shake out. The coaches will select tonight. You can check NCAA.com for those and be with us for live coverage tomorrow around noon Pacific time. We will pick up those final matches and crown a champion here on NCAA.com. Riviera has been an incredible host. 1 more day to go. The weather will be perfect. We know the golf will be sensational. Make sure you join us then.